Welcome back to another controversial car topic. After quite a few other videos in this series that are more like lukewarm topics than truly controversial, here is finally one that I think will lead to a bloodbath in the comment section. Because I guess I already know the answer, which is...
No! God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
But, as is always the case with these videos, I'd like to add a little nuance to the discussion and also offer my ever-so-balanced opinion on it. See, I may have mentioned it before, but I don't really have anything against electric cars. I don't consider myself a eco-mental tree-hugger by any means, but I do think the electric drivetrain is certainly superior to its gas-powered alternative in many ways. It's vibration-free, no noise, instant acceleration, very low maintenance, and zero emissions as a nice bonus as well. From an average consumer point of view, what's not to like? And that brings me to the first stop in this discussion, which is the us versus them argument. Isn't it lovely when you can divide the universe into two camps? Surely, just because you like EVs, you must absolutely be against screaming V10s and V12s, right? And surely, just because you like the rumble of a V8 engine, you must absolutely hate the birds and the bees that inhabit this beautiful planet that you're about to destroy. It's easy. When you love EVs, you can't love gas-powered cars, and when you love gas-powered cars, you just can't love EVs. Guys, why not both? Why can't you just love electric cars and gas-powered cars at the same time? I have no shame in loving a good old rumbling V8 muscle car as much as I have no shame in loving an ultra-fast and luxurious EV at the same time. Just quit the hate, envy, and grudges. We're all here to appreciate cars. Now, with that out of the way, what about the recent trend of classic cars being converted to run on electricity and swapping its original engine for an electric motor? According to various sources, it is a growing industry, although the end results are often quite expensive and usually a one-off creation for wealthy customers, so it's not like it's taken over the entire classic car scene. I believe it was a few years ago, but don't quote me on that a company converted a vintage Porsche into an EV, and everybody screamed, "Sacrilege! You just don't violate a classic Porsche." I believe this started a debate whether turning a classic car into an EV is right or wrong, and although I would initially agree that it is wrong, I think there are two factors at play that decide whether it matters or not a classic car has been turned into an EV. These two are, for me, the character of the car and the rarity of the car. Let's start with the rarity. I think you'll agree with me that whether converting a classic car to run on electricity is a heinous crime or not depends on the availability of said classic car. I really don't care if cars like, let's say, a Volkswagen Beetle is turned into an EV. There are loads, and I mean loads, of classic Beetles out there, so turning some of them into EVs is not going to change the world. It just adds flavor and variety. And neither are classic Porsches. There, I said it. Up until recently, vintage Porsches were all the rage in the car collecting scene. It didn't really matter what Porsche you tried to save, it certainly went up in value. The results? So many Porsches, whether junkyard cars, barn finds, or simply used, they were getting restored and were all going up in value. And who cares? Some of them were turned into an EV. Of every electric version out there, there are thousands that still have the original and restored boxer engine. It's not like they're going extinct. But then, this cannot be said about very rare and ultra-special cars. Think of some one-off Ferraris or some other rare exotics where only one or very few were made. If somebody would find a lost Bugatti, for instance, without an engine in some barn and wants to restore it, I would find it difficult if they chose to turn it into an EV. At least appreciate the craftsmanship and the ideas behind the original engine. And although the engine had to be rebuilt and would never be as original as the original engine, just at least give it a try. And that brings me to the first factor. The character of the car. There are some cars I don't see converted into an EV, and then there are some cars I think are very much suitable, but it depends on the character of the car. For example, performance cars like the Ferraris and Bugattis I just mentioned. In combination with the Rarity, I don't think classic Ferraris and Bugattis and Jaguars and whatnot should be converted. Although it is a kinky idea nonetheless. These cars are universally praised for their craftsmanship and the way they constructed their engines. It's all part of the package, the typical screaming sound, the smell and the noise. And especially if only a few were made, you can only do justice if you keep it as original as possible. And yet, I can't say that of some cars like a classic Rolls-Royce. Allow me to explain. Rarity aside, Rolls-Royces and Bentleys are powered by absolutely marvelous engines, don't get me wrong. But what is the point of these engines? They were designed and developed to be as powerful, smooth and quiet as they could be. Does that ring a bell? Right, everything an electric car can do better. So why wouldn't it be a logical choice to replace the original engine with an all-electric engine when restoring a classic Rolls or Bentley? It really enhances the cloud-like driving experience. These cars were never meant to be raw and sporty, so why not improve its sophistication? And that's what I mean with the character of the car. Take a look at its intended driving experience a classic car was going to deliver and see whether an electric engine improves this or not. And so to end this video, I'm going to name just a few other examples. Coach-built cars from the 1930s. Those could benefit from having an electric motor, further shaping their cloud and teardrop-like appearance, although they are often quite rare, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. Bentleys from the 1930s, absolutely not. These are massive beasts of raw performance and power. It's like riding a coal train, so no whisper quiet engine here. American cars from the late 50s, yeah, those could be converted to electric drivetrains. They were designed to look space-age, and if you also implement a soft whizzing sound like many modern EVs have, I think it will certainly improve the space-age feel and image. After all, these cars had big V8s, but weren't race cars, more like soft gurgling engines. American muscle cars from the 60s. I wouldn't convert them, although it is certainly a spicy idea. These are all about getting at the end of a straight line as fast as possible, something that is a perfect fit for an electric engine. But it's the whole experience that comes along with it, you know, the noise and smell, etc. Don't care for Mustangs though, there are so many classic Mustangs out there that a few of them can be converted. It wouldn't hurt no one. Also, some far-out cars from the 1980s certainly could benefit from having an electric engine. Think of the more technologically beep-boop advanced cars at the time, like the late 70s Aston Martin Lagonda, that was among the first to have a digital dash. Or what about the DMC-12 DeLorean? If it can be a time machine, it can also be an EV as well. A Lamborghini Countach I would not change, however. Anyway, I hope you get the slightest idea, and as always, let me know in the comments what you think. Is an EV conversion in and on itself already a sacrilege, or are there some other cars out there that you think are eligible to be converted? Let me know in the comments.